Hello, everyone. So this is going to be our last community session of the day, and then we've got the round table, which Sandro's offered to join us for as well. So Sandro really needs no introduction. He is a guru, I will say, when it comes to data mapping. So I can't think of a better person to do this session. I do want to just thank him sort of publicly. He's given us a ton of feedback on the data mapper, which has improve the overall quality of it. And he's given us so much feedback that we said, hey, you get to do a session now. So thanks, Sandro, for being a good sport. And I'll hand it over to you. This is going to be a live session, folks. So feel free to add questions into chat and we'll sort of see what we can do in terms of getting those surfaced and getting Sandro's attention as we sort of work through the session.
Yeah, thank you, Kent. So yeah, this is a live session. It's 10 o'clock here in Portugal. So my kid is just on the other room. I hope he's not entering in the room, but yeah, never knows. So be aware. So for those that doesn't know me, my name is Sandro Pereira, as Kent mentioned. I live in Porto, and I'm the head of integration at DevScope. I'm being an MVP from 11 years. I think this year is 12 years on the MVP program. I started as a BizTalk MVP, integration MVP, and now I'm an Azure MVP. But my focus is on enterprise integration, and that means working with BizTalk and Azure integration service, everything that is integration related with Microsoft. This is what I do all here. So you have my emails there, my LinkedIn, my blog. Feel free to reach me out if you have any questions about this or share some feedback. And I'm also an instructor delivering trainings about, again, everything that is related with enterprise integration, BizTalk and Logic App, Azure Integration Service, all of this stuff. And this was me 10 years ago, speaking about data mapping, transformations in general. In that period, it was about BizTalk transformations. And that led to me creating a book that is free about, it's a 400 pages book that I did in almost 1 year, focus about just mapping. In this particular case, about BizTalk mappings. Nevertheless, is XSLT behind the scenes. It still works today and is still very. The content is, you can use it nowadays, even now. And that's the reason why I'm here also speaking about the new data mapper that the Logic App team just released a few weeks ago. This book the book that I wrote talks about 12 BizTalk mapping patterns. These patterns are not related to BizTalk itself. It's related about transformation in general. And so these mapping patterns will also be applied in the new data mapper. We hope that all of these can be worked also in the new data mapper. And the 12 patterns I described was about direct translation. That means just copy from the source system to the destination schema without changing the content of the fields, just kind of direct mapping. Of course, we are changing the format of the message. It can be from a different XML schema to a JSON schema or XML to XML. We also have the data translation. That means that we are going to a specific field or several fields of the message, and we actually going to translate or transform that value. A date to an age, something like that. So it's going to be different. Concatenate fields, all of this stuff. We also have content enrichment pattern. That means that we are going to enrich the message, the destination message, with more data that we receive on the source schema. We also have kind of aggregating patterns, and that means that, for example, aggregating two types of message into a single, combine these two messages in a single one. This is very common to happen when we receive a message. We go fetch the message to another internal system, and then we need to combine this information into another final message to be delivered to an end system. We also have the content filter pattern or data cleaning pattern. Sometimes we can, but these two names kind of do the same. So we receive more information on the source schema, but we don't actually need that amount of message. So we are reducing the number of fields from the source to the destination. We have the splitter pattern that somehow is kind of the inverse of the aggregator pattern. When we have a message, but we want to kind of generate two different messages to be delivered to the two different systems. Okay, we can apply a map and then another map, or you can apply one map to do all of these. Instead of being two maps execution, we have one map execution, and it creates two types of message. And then we have kind of more complex situation that is grouping patterns and sorting patterns. Most of the times, these two type of patterns are combined inside one transformation requirement. We have conditional patterns that, based on a condition, we go into map or not, or going to map different values. And then we have looping patterns and these kind of canonical data patterns. When you have a canonical schema and different schemas from different source systems, but then we have a canonical schema internally that we map all of these to a canonical, and this name value when we have a schema that only contains keys and values, and we map to that one. These are the 12 patterns I wrote on the book, and some of these we are going to try today. Some of them probably at the moment are not supported, but they are going to be supported. And in real case scenarios, we see all of these patterns combined in a single transformation requirement. Okay, it doesn't mean that we only going to apply one of these patterns in a specific transformation on a specific map. These are subsets of patterns that we see daily on the transformations, and of course, in a real transformation, we are going to apply several of these patterns inside a map. Well, I'm not finding an excuse, but it's important to mention that data mapper is still in preview. Okay, that means that you are going to find issues and something maybe not working at the moment. The important is for you to give feedback, because that's the importance of the private preview, is for you to give feedback, and you have this link there where you can submit issues. It doesn't need to be an issue. It can be an issue, it can be a requirement, a feature that you need. Just kind of go there and submit your feedback. I can say that I'm using the data mapper since private preview, and it was probably for me, it was easy to say I'm not going to try that. But for you to have an idea, me and along with Kent, on the first week, we opened more than 60 bugs, new features or improvements that we need to have in the data mapper. And I can say that all of these are going to be handled by the Microsoft. They are heavily investing and hear the feedback and put on the roadmap to build on the new features. So yeah, if something don't work, do not say I'm not going to work this. Just submit the feedback, and at the end is going to be a good data mapping tool. without any delays, I'm not want to spend too much in slides. I'm going to show the data mapper in action, okay? But before that, for those that came from the BizTalk background, this was kind of the BizTalk mapper, okay? We have the source schema, we have the target schema or the destination schema, and in the middle, we have different layers with all the transformation rules. And these squares that you see there, they are called functoids, okay? Kind of functions that you can transform data from the source schema to the destination schema. A concatenate, a scripting functoid that basically is kind of code, in this case, kind of a little bit of a C# code. We have conditions and creating the process, kind of adding new data to the destination that is creating a timestamp here, and a lot of loopings and cumulative sums to calculate this. This is also the map that you use on the logic app consumption. Actually, what you are seeing here is the logic app consumption. So Microsoft did a lift and shift from the BizTalk mapper and create this logic app mapper. I don't know what's the correct name for that, but is the mapper of the logic app consumption. If you create that, you have to then export the XSLT to the integration account, and that's it. The good things about this is kind of you can select the map. You provide an instance input of the message, and you can right-click, test the map, or also debug the map, and you see that at the end it's going to execute, and you have the result. Kind of you test your mapping transformation, and then everything's good. You deploy to the integration account, and you can use inside the logic app consumption. Okay, and that's also work in the logic app standard, but you need to use the integration account. Okay, this is the new data mapper. Okay, you don't need the integration account for that, for using the data mapper. This is built-in functionalities inside the logic app standard. Once you create a map, you have a folder of artifacts, and you have the map definitions, the maps, and the schemas there. When you create that, it's going to create a file, and we are going to create soon one map. But it's going to create that, it's going to execute. You don't need more an integration account to have maps and schemas in the logic app standard. And this is the new data mapper. So this is the exact same exercise I show on the BizTalk map, on the logic app consumption map. This is the same exercise. And this exercise is what I call the basics of the maps. Because when I create the book, I select a specific transformation with the most common rules of transformation. That means kind of we need to do a concatenation. We do to do a age calculation based on the data of birth. We have a direct mapping, that is the address. We have a zip code that is a conditional mapping, because on the source schema, the zip code is not mandatory. And if it's present, we need to map. Otherwise, we will not map the zip code. And that means that the zip code is not going to appear in the message. It's not an empty string. It's not going to appear. So this is optional. We have a processing date that is adding more information to the map. And at the end, we have the same phone billing calculation that is do a sum of all the calls that I made and put in international calls and national calls. So when you open the map and when you create the map, we are going to create this from the scratch. what you see here is kind of the overview. So then you have to enter in each node, and you see that in this case I have the concatenation, I have the age calculation, I have my data, my address, all of these transformations, and then can enter in the phone billing. And if I have here a huge different mapping condition, but is doing the same, is doing all the calculation. And we also can do the same of testing these. In this case, at the moment, we are not saying we are going to select the file. We just copy the sample file to the input, and this is the same input, and then just run a test, and this is going to be the outcome. So that means that I'm Sandro Pereira, 45 years old, and national calls is 2.7 and international is 15. If you go to the same one, is actually the same, 2.7 and 15, 45, Sandro Pereira, everything is the same. So we actually can do the exact same transformation both in the BizTalk mapper, in the logic app mapper, consumption one, and in the data mapper itself. Okay, so I'm going to come back here, but let me show you another pattern, and that's the aggregator pattern. The aggregator pattern basically means that you have two types of message, and we want to combine that in a single message. So in BizTalk, we can do this type of transformation inside the orchestrations, because in BizTalk we can use transformations on the receive ports, on the send ports, or in the orchestration. These multiple input message we can only do inside the orchestration, because what BizTalk does is behind the scenes create a different type of message with two messages inside, kind of import that message in a different schema and do the transformation. So by default, data mapper only support one schema, but we can apply the same concept in the logic app standard as we use in the old days in BizTalk. So what I have here is that I'm going to send a simple request, and you can see that inside my Postman, this is only going to be a user ID, last name, and first name. Then what I'm doing here inside my logic app is I'm going to emulate, I'm not calling an external system, but it's kind of emulating a call to the external system and receive a message back from that internal system. So to emulate this call, I just create a compose and create my second type of message. That is going to be the user ID and then address, postcode, and town. Okay, just imagine that I call kind of a SQL server and I receive this information back. Okay, which is, for simplicity, I use this emulation. And then what I'm doing here is exactly the same that BizTalk server do behind the scenes. I'm creating a new message. In this case, it's a JSON with two input message part 0 and message part 1. On the part 0, it's my message that I'm sending with the Postman. On the part 2 is the message I receive from the external system, and that can be more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I decide that. And then I'm going to pass that to my mapping. And you see that my mapping is composed by two types of message. And then I'm going to start mapping these. So you can see the schema here, that all my schema is input part 0, user ID, last name, first name, and then the other is the other type of message that I was creating inside the logic app standard. So the first part about the user ID full name, I'm going to extract this information from part 1, okay? And when I came to the address, then I'm going to map this from the address, postcode, and town. And so kind of with a direct transformation, I didn't want to apply too many rules there. Inside the logic app standard, now we have a different action. So if you see add action, if you search, we have now a data mapper action operation, and you can say transform using a data mapper XSLT. So if I choose that, I can select what is the content that I'm going to send. This is going to be, oh, not this one, sorry. This is going to be the outputs of my multi-part message, and then I select what is the map that I'm going to use, and that's going to be the aggregation mapping, okay? Just let me delete this because I already have this here. As you can see, outputs, logic app, aggregation pattern. Awesome. And then I have my response, that is the response of this transformation that I have here. So fingers crossed, this is live, run without debugging here. Just a small second, start this. And come on, runtime. And then I come back here and say, send it. And if everything works fine, I'm going to receive the response back of that transformation soon enough. There you go. ID, full name, address, and that's it, okay? It works. So let me stop this. So everything good there. Just a small note that you need to have this work runtime.NET isolate and this Azure Web Job Features flag enable multi-language worker, otherwise you cannot use the data mapper in runtime, okay? So how you create a map? There is an extension data mapper that you can install, and then you can kind of create a new data mapper and provide a name. And let's call it community day. Spell, but no worries, right? So you have the source schema, you have the target schema, and then we can kind of click add, select existing. I'm going to the person origin, add, and then add a target, select person target, and that's it, okay? And of course, it's going to create behind the scenes a new map here on the artifacts. It's going to create a new map here once I save that. Of course, all the schemas have to be there for me to import from here. So now, again, I'm on the overview page. I cannot do nothing, so I need to enter that here. And by default, because I didn't have nothing, it's going to appear in a blank situation. And then you say select elements and say, okay, I want the first name, last name, date of birth, address, and zip code, okay? And then start to create all the functions. Here, what I'm going to put here is not called functoids, it's functions, but it's kind of the same that you see. It's a function that you can do a transformation. And in the first case, I want a concatenation. So concat. And if you select the concat here, we see that the first input will be the last name. I'm going to add a field here. This is going to be a custom one because I want to put a comma on the middle, and then I'm going to say first name. And then I'm going to grab this and put in my full name, okay? At the moment, you cannot drag and drop this one, but Microsoft is fixing that. It's going to release, I hope soon, the way that we can drag and drop all of these functions from one side to the other. So now I need date of birth, and date of birth is going to be a little bit tricky, but we can do the same with a subtract. substring, sorry. And I'm going to say that my substring is going to be the date of birth. And I'm going to get the first 4 digits about that. And then I'm going to do, because this is a string, I'm going to do a toInt, integer. And then I'm going to say that from the toInteger is going to be the substring. And then I'm going to do a subtract. There you go, math. And from my subtract is going to be the int. No, sorry. The first is going to be, I'm going to cheat here, but I'm going to put 2023, that is here now. And I'm going to subtract. Of course, I can get that value from another function, but not to do a more complex situation. And then I'm going to put the age here, okay? Again, it's kind of overlap. You cannot kind of drag and drop, but a little trick is go back to the main overview and then enter again, and it's going to render in a different way. You can read now a little bit better this, okay? And I have to select again this one, address and zip code. So address is going to be a direct stuff. So I'm going to copy from one side to the other. And the zip code is a condition. So what I'm going to do is saying that not this one, kind of exist here, and on here I'm going to say zip code on the exist, and then put if else. Oh, sorry, not if else, but if. This one I'm going to delete. And this if, the first one is going to be a true condition, so it's going to be the exist. And then the second one is going to be the zip code. And then map this to the zip code. And finally, the age is going to be the date, current date time value, for example. And this is going to grab this for this one. So I can save it now if I want. Go back here, go back again. So I save it. I can do partial testing. So let me do a test here. Let me copy the same message back and say, boom, test it. And you see that we have all of this stuff already being mapped in the correct situation. And even if I go here and say I'm going to remove the zip code, just you guys know that this is going to work, yet the zip code disappeared. So it's mapping correct one, condition and so on. Let me see. I have a few more minutes. I hope I can do this exercise because this phone element is a bit more complex, no? But let's try it. Can't, if I go over the time, just interrupt myself, okay? So I'm going to start with. So here I want to kind of phone number. I want to do the total of national calls and international calls. So this is going to be the phone number, and because I'm in Portugal, the international code of Portugal is +351. So that means that I'm going to see if it starts with 3+351. If so, that means that I need to add this to the total national. So now I need to do a if else. if else. There you go. And this is else going to be the start. And if true, then what I'm going to map is the cost. Otherwise, what I'm going to say is 0, because, well, I want to have 0 if I didn't have any national calls. And then, because again, this is going to be a string, or it's a kind of a decimal, I'm going to do toNumber to guarantee that it's going to be a number. And this one is going to be the if then else. And then, because I want to sum all of them, I have sum here, and on the sum, that means that my collection is the num, and the scope is my phone calls. And then I put that on the total national. Let me save that, going to the little bit here so I can run this better. And if I do a test again, I should have now some exactly total national 2.7, okay? And if you remember, there was 2.7 in the other one. Now, I need to do the opposite. So I need to kind of go to the logical knot, because, oh, sorry, it's not here. So let me enter here, and I put logical knot here. So if it doesn't start with 3.5, it's going to receive a false, and I'm going to convert to a true. And then I'm again going to put if else, and that if else is going to be that not, and again is going to be cost, and again the same as 0. And I need to put toNumber again, and that's going, sorry, just keep these out of the way. That's going to be here, and oh, damn it, I want to be quick, but, and then I have a sum there, and this sum is going to be my collection. So the scope is going, let me put here. Again, Microsoft is improving a little bit this experience. So I already gave this feedback to them. So they are improving a little bit, because then I have to go here, and then I have to go back again here, just to put what is. And sorry, but there was a bug. So again, Microsoft is improving this, and because I didn't map the correct, I went outside, and it broke the design. So again, they are improving. They are going to fix that. The important is that it works, and with that, I think is everything. And let's kind of try to respond some questions.
So I did try to address some of the questions that did come up. So I think we're caught up there.